So we got to the situation. Yes, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra overheated at 49 Celsius. But wait, let me tell you, this is not necessarily bad. And wait, I need to show you how it all started. And then you're going to understand and probably agree with me. Welcome back on the channel. In this video I'm going to battle the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra with stable One UI 7. I know, that's not really a thing. Anyway, the latest build, March, and the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, guys. Also, what I'm gonna do, I'm going to use auto brightness on both phones. I don't want to manually set them, I just want like each phone to play in its own league with the sensors that it has and also with the algorithms that were incorporated. Also, what I'm gonna do, for the sake of the video, guys, I'm going to disable the Wi-Fi. It's gonna be for a reason. You're gonna see. Well, I have 5G SIM cards on both on them phones. Also, I'm gonna close all the running applications. The next thing, guys, I want to do is start the throttling test. Now, usually I'm going to just like start the throttling test for like 1 hour with 100 threads. This is very, very important, guys. So we have 100 threads. And guys, I'm also going to incorporate, right, let's go for 60 minutes here, all right. And usually this is part of the performance testing that I'm doing. Now, I know this is a very old software and it's outdated, but believe it or not, this can really fry the phone. Also, I'm not using any kind of performance mode. The Xiaomi 15 Ultra actually has some. When you go inside the settings and you scroll down to battery, yeah, you can see that we do have the performance mode, balance, battery saver, right? So I'm just gonna use the standard one. And also, guys, what I'm gonna do, and this is gonna be a bit different in this video, for the sake of the brutal performance test, I'm going to start the CPU throttling test in a pop-up window, right? And at this point of time, you might wonder like, why? Well, okay, let me show you guys. So I'm gonna put it here, right? And also, what I want to do is start a game, but not any game. I'm gonna start Car X Street because I know that this game will pump the 3D like crazy and put a lot of strain and stress on the GPU. Also, some starting baseline times, 31.740 Xiaomi 15 Ultra, guys, 30.2 kind of dissimilar, I would say. Here we do have Android 15, the latest HyperOS here as well. And now, without any further ado, guys, I'm going to start Car X. And as I am inside the game, I'm going to also start the CPU throttling test. And I can tell you guys, this is going to be something interesting to watch, right? Because usually what people do, they put a lot of benchmarks, they put a lot of heavy duty performance tests, and I do believe all of those methods are really very good to stress out the phones, but in this video I decided to do something like this. It's a bit smaller on the Xiaomi, but I guess it's circa the same. So now I'm going to initiate the game and let's start playing. Now, it's important to also understand now that both phones are set to auto brightness. It seems that the S25 Ultra is just pumping a bit more. So, all right, this wasn't really my plan, but I'm going to up the brightness a bit in order to at least equalize it. Alright, let's start playing, guys. We can still hit like 60 FPS with the Xiaomi while doing the test. Now, of course, the big question is, for how long are we able to sustain this kind of performance? As you understand, right now the phone is not only allocating resources for the game that is alone very heavy, but also to be able to perform the CPU throttling. And we can see, by the way, that this activity is really a hard one. Now let's try to play a bit on the S25 Ultra, all right. The S25 Ultra, you can see, is already aggressively throttling. But what is also interesting, I have a feeling that the visuals aren't so good. And yeah, you can see here like all these colors. But also, guys, something that I believe is important, it seems also that we are not able to even start at like 60 FPS. All right, which I guess is an indication that a lot of heat has been put on the phone by this heavy game, I would say, and also by the CPU throttling test. The performance of the CPU throttling test is now almost like 50% lower. You can see the red indication means severe throttling. All right, so how much do we have here, guys? Oh, we are already at 40.3. All right, let's keep playing on the Xiaomi. The Xiaomi test is weird. Let me just try to stop it, guys. All right, I'm gonna stop it and start it again. Okay, now I did it. And now it's time to test the same, but with the Xiaomi. Yeah, surprisingly enough, we are able to play, alright, 60 FPS, not, but very close to 60 FPS with the Xiaomi. And you can see that the phone is also throttling like crazy, but not so badly as the S25 Ultra. Right, both phones, by the way, guys, are without cases. And as I'm playing on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, of course, the S25 Ultra has the chance to recover. Alright, so we are going slowly into the orange area, trying to recover and reach for the green. You can see the graphics here. So green means practically like at least 80% of the performance, not so severe throttling. Orange is already like 70, red is almost like 50% throttling, guys, and getting only 50% of the performance. And as I said that the S25 Ultra, guys, is already taking a nap. That was true and also in the same time not true, because you can see that the test is running. So now I want to see if the test is gonna still crash on the Xiaomi. No, okay, it's still running, that's good. How do we know this? Just based on the graphics. What we can see on the S25 Ultra is that the graphic of the game and also the FPS performance is really getting bad. 20-ish FPS, right? But we are still able to run the test and play the game. Now it's time to check some temps. The Xiaomi already on the whooping 43.2. 41.7 for the S25 Ultra. So, alright, I think the famous, very aggressive Samsung Galaxy throttling, yeah, it's preventing the phone to kind of overheat. Alright, we are still running the test on the S25 Ultra. How do we know? We can see the graphic, and now I'm gonna put the Xiaomi to the test. Oh wow, what the heck? No. Okay, something went wrong. No, I thought that the game froze, but no. And what is impressive, guys, is that I can apparently play the game just like this, and it's not that bad. Like, honestly, this means that the Snapdragon 8 Elite, when properly cooled, or let's say even when allowed to hit a bit more, will be a powerhouse, because we are able to run the test and the game in the same time. And I'm always paying attention to what happens here on the right, because I don't want the test to freeze, so that the Xiaomi will have, let's say, a leverage compared to the S25 Ultra. Oh, and now we have a dip also on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. 44.2 already going high for the Xiaomi. 42, yeah, stable for the S25 Ultra. Now let's see what the Ultra will do. I guess with that amount of throttling, guys, we are getting 200 GIPS in the CPU throttling. And we're also, I do believe, getting a slightly lower resolution in-game. But also the FPS is almost like 29, 25. Not great. Oh wow, okay, maybe now when the Xiaomi reach the almost 45 Celsius, we are going to experience some frame drops, but no, it still delivers. Yeah, that's impressive, guys. I'm not sure if that's impressive in your book, but okay, no, I have to take my words back. Now also severe throttling on the Xiaomi, trying to recover again. You can see the lines here, it's definitely going like a zigzag. And we are now, I think, okay, we are now officially in this moment where the Xiaomi 15 Ultra also throttled. Still able to recover slightly, probably 5 to 10 FPS more than the S25 Ultra, but I think as I keep playing the game, this is gonna get worse for the Xiaomi. And honestly, right now, I think it's even more than 45. Let's see. I was almost right, guys. 44.9. Alright, 44.7. What about the S25 Ultra? 41.2. So definitely running cooler, guys. I think at this point of time, that's absolutely obvious. And we already knew this. Samsung really aggressive throttling. They really try to preserve the phone internal components and also the battery. I don't think that's necessarily bad. I wish only for Samsung to like put a performance mode. Now there is something here, guys. This is the performance optimizations for the CarX Street, and it's now running anyway on performance customization. Now the Xiaomi 15 Ultra is giving me somehow like the same performance as the S25 Ultra. Maybe just 2 to 5 FPS higher. Yeah, okay, at some areas, maybe like 45 still. Now, by the way, you see here, it's running for 14 minutes, here for 10, because I had to restart it, guys. I thought it for a moment it was crashing. That's because Xiaomi 15 Ultra doesn't always like show me the graphic, and I want to have an overview of the graphic. I've closed everything and I'm only going to put the CPU throttling test with the same parameters just to see what is going to happen initially. Now that the phones are starting with, I would say, already like more than 40. So 44.7 here on the Xiaomi and 40 on the Samsung. Interesting, see, the Samsung started with like 60% performance, boom, immediately went to 100, and then, yeah, saw the hit, and now it's going to below 60%, so experiencing throttling. And you can, by the way, also see this in the performance. The Xiaomi is doing almost more than 400 GIPS, and the S25 Ultra is doing something like 300 GIPS. So the lower we go, guys, the lower the GIPS performance is, and those are actually all the calculations that I made by the CPU throttling test. Okay, now I just want to make this a bit more interactive, so let me just go and put it again in a pop-up window. All right, I hope it worked. Yeah, I can see on this time it's not good on the Xiaomi. Oh, it's good. Okay, so I'm just going to now restart it for the test. The Xiaomi now experiencing severe throttling, and what I will want to do next, guys, is put the 3D mark. I think it's working. Okay, and as you can see, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, although throttling heavy, right, is able to give you almost good performance in the second up. And the S25 Ultra is, I think, splitting resources like 50-50, so we don't experience severe throttling in the CPU throttling test, but we're running with like 7 FPS in the 3D mark. So it's quite interesting to see how different these both phones perform. And honestly, I would expect in the end to have a higher 3D mark score on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra versus what I can call like the slideshow on the S25 Ultra. Let's try to measure some temps and see what happens. 45.7, oh my god, for the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. 42.4 for the S25 Ultra. It's getting already intense. Okay, all right, we got the first result. Let's conceal it, guys. How much do you expect? Okay, here we do have 4,000 something. All right, I saw it quickly. Oh my god, they're really burning my hands. 4,603 versus 1,766. And I think that's absolutely understood given the fact that we are really putting CPU throttling tests with 100 threads. But you know what is still impressive is that both phones really made it so far. Extreme stress test, are we on the same page? We are. This is the wildlife extreme stress test, and I'm gonna start it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, let's see which of the phones is gonna start first. All right, I'm gonna put it here for your viewing pleasure. The S25 Ultra definitely starting quicker, but then when it starts, it renders only like 7 FPS. All right. And the Xiaomi is loading the test not so quick, but it gives you almost like 26 FPS. I'm planning a trip soon and I don't want to somehow compromise my Xiaomi 15 Ultra. 48.5, but the good news is that the Xiaomi is not force crashing the application. 41.9 only here. So guys, at this point of time, I will stop the test. I'm pretty much sure that at some point the Xiaomi 15 Ultra might really crash. What is important is the main takeaway, and oh my god, actually, yeah, okay, yeah. 49, so it really died at 49. And what is important for us to understand is that apparently the Xiaomi 15 Ultra is giving a bit more power, actually quite a bit more power for the application that is running in the full screen and not allocating all these resources to the application running on the background in the pop-up. And the S25 Ultra is always going for that balance, right? But in the end, we are getting like 40 to 50% throttling in the CPU throttling, and we are getting something like 7 to 15 FPS. Honestly, still, the S25 Ultra would end up as being a survivor, but does it mean that the S25 Ultra is the winner, given the fact that the performance from 3D Mark and also the CarX in-game was better on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra? I will want you and will let you to decide. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoy these videos. If that's the case, go watch some other videos of my own. Stay safe, VST over, and bye.